Today we're going to be taking a look at the best vehicle suspension enhancements for your 2009 Dodge Ram pickup. So here we're going to have 4 different representatives of the different styles of suspension enhancements that are available for our pickup. Over here we're going to have the jounce-style spring style. Right here we're going to have the air spring style. And then our overload pads. And then finally our leaf spring style. Each one of these is going to help out with the sagging in the back end and help support that heavy load, but each one of them is going to work a little bit different. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the differences. Our jounce spring style helper springs are going to work, and they're going to replace our factory jounce stop. And what they're going to do is they're going to provide that extra support by giving us this little bit larger space than normal, and it's going to go in between the axle and the frame. Now when we apply a heavy load, it's going to put pressure on it, and the spring is actually going to become stiffer as the pressure is applied. Our air springs are going to mount relatively the same as those. They are going to use a couple different brackets and so forth to get in place, but the air spring itself is going to replace the factory jounce stop in most applications, and it's going to use compressed air to fill up the air bag to accommodate different weights and different loads that we may carry. Now this is going to be fully adjustable, and depending on how you have your system set up, it is going to be adjustable from side to side and be able to put different pressures in there to adjust those off-center loads. Now our overload pad is going to work a lot differently than what we've seen so far. You'll notice it's got this wedge right here. This is actually going to go in between our overload spring and our leaf spring to activate the overloads right off the bat. In this particular one, you're going to have this square hole that you can take a ratchet and an extension, and it's going to apply them directly against the overload spring, so we're not going to have to wait until our leaf springs flex all the way down. It's going to apply those overload springs right away and give us that extra support when we have something heavy in the bed. Now the leaf springs are going to be exactly what they look like. It's going to be a leaf spring that's going to attach to our factory leaf springs to give us that extra support when we're carrying something heavy. Our jounce style springs are going to be a great option to upgrade your suspension if you have a constant load or just a heavy load that you know that's going to bring down that back end. Because our spring is going to provide that support between the axle and the frame, preventing it from bottoming out, but we're not going to have the adjustability. So these really are going to be ideal for somebody that has a constant load that they know that's not going to change a whole lot. Maybe a camper or a heavy boat that you're towing, something like that. This is going to be a great option because we know it's not going to change, and we're not going to need to change the level of support that we're getting. Our air springs are going to be great if we're not sure what we're going to tow, or if we're towing a lot of different things, because we're going to have maximum adjustability. So we're going to be able to adjust left and right. We're going to be able to adjust that pressure down or higher if we need more support. But again, keep in mind that installation is a lot more in-depth than the jounce style. Now for our overload springs, again, it's a very simple installation, but it may be a little time consuming and a little bit strenuous. It's a very simple design, and it's not going to take up a lot of space on your truck. We're not going to have to run any airlines. We're not going to have to remove anything that's factory from the truck. But again, it is a little bit strenuous to get installed. But again, it's going to give us that support by applying our overload springs immediately rather than having to wait for our leaf springs to flex. And the leaf spring style is going to be a great choice for somebody if your truck maybe already has a little bit worn or fatigued leaf springs that kind of give a little bit more than they should. We're going to be able to get that height adjustment just by putting them in, and then also getting that extra support by applying that pressure so that our leaf springs aren't sagging as much. So any one of these is going to be a good option to enhance your suspension, but it just kind of depends on which situation you do and what kind of things you're towing with and what kind of system you should go with. So to sum everything up, if installation is a big concern of yours, I definitely would say the jounce style or even the leaf spring style is going to be a good choice, because it's going to be a pretty straightforward installation and we're not going to have to do any kind of cutting or drilling. If versatility or adjustability is going to be a big concern of yours, I would definitely say go with the air springs. They're going to provide you with the most amount of adjustability, being able to give you that load support that you need when you're towing a heavy load. If maintenance is a big concern of yours, the jounce-style springs, the leaf springs, and the overload pads are going to be a good choice because they're not going to require any kind of extra maintenance. Once they're installed, you're done. And that'll finish up the look at the best vehicle suspension enhancements for your Dodge Ram pickup.